What's happening, Hammers? Dan Lawless here, back with another edition of the West Ham Week, where I take 3 of the top stories from West Ham from throughout the week and break down into 2-minute sections. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who came over and supported my other channel last week, Dan and Jace. The support was overwhelming. I asked to see if I could get to 300 subscribers by my 30th birthday, and I already got to 337. Madness. So who knows? Maybe everyone else, if you guys can support me, tell me get to 500 by my 30th birthday in June the 19th. Get your presents ready. Then that would be great. So thank you guys so much for everyone who's subscribed so far. But I'll put a comment from the channel below, and then you can click on it or whatever. Anyway, let's get into the important stuff. The West Ham news. Lots happened this week. A lot to choose from. So without further ado, whatever you like, start the timer now. So, David Sullivan has been in the news this week due to some tax avoidance to do with West Ham. Now, apparently, David Sullivan, according to several reports, he's been in. When he bought the club in 2010, he basically had used the club to avoid paying £700,000 in tax. A tribunal has ruled, so it's actually been ruled that that's what he did. He basically took £2 million from his family business, bought some shares in the holding company that owned West Ham, and then sold those shares back to the club as deferred shares, which were deemed practically worthless, and sold back to him for £1, so he could use the £2 million loss to reduce his tax bill by £700,000. Now, I'm no expert. Hopefully someone can clear it up in the comments. But, it sounds like, let me move some money from here over to here. Then it goes missing somewhere. I've lost some money. You can't charge me that much tax. Sort me out here. That's what it sounds like. Hopefully someone cleared it up. But it's more evidence that confirms that they're not in it, particularly Sullivan. He's not bought this club because he's a fan and he wanted to save the club and out the kindness of his heart, and we should be grateful. There were so many benefits to him getting this club. It's unreal, and it's a bit of a masterstroke from him. Obviously this tax avoidance thing, the rise in value of the club, the stadium, selling the stadium, now getting this stadium, potentially getting to a point where we are either giving the stadium for free or at a knockdown price, which looks to be a very big possibility with what's going on. He stands to benefit a lot from this club, and that just backs it up. Another story this week is that Smolov, how do you pronounce his name? Fyodor Smolov, the Russian international striker, is wanting to move to West Ham before the World Cup. Now, this has surprised a lot of West Ham fans, because it's like, well, at this time, why would anyone want to come here without how much of a circus it is? And two, we tried to sign him in January, and we completely pissed him and his club about by not, they wanted, I think, the same what they still want is about, I think it's between 12-15 million pounds, and just completely pissed him about until the last minute, and it didn't end up happening. Now, he's very prolific for his club, Krasnodar. He scored 61 goals in 92 games, which is really impressive. He's recently scored against Spain for Russia, so he's got some international goals under his belt as well. So you might say to yourself, all right, well, it's the Russian league, piss easy to score. Why do we want him? Which, that's part of my sort of doubts as well. I think for me, I would have been much more comfortable with him as a January transfer than a summer transfer. I think we really should have gone out to try and get him in January and bolster our attack. But if we're looking at him in the summer, if it's the same price in the summer, as a secondary striker, I would be happy to go in for him, as long as we spend big money and sign a main striker, someone as a proven goal scorer. You've got Andy Carroll, someone we need to move on badly. Hernandez might want to leave. So we're sort of limited when it comes to striking options. Hugo, is Hugo, basically. That's all I can say there. Lastly, a bit of bad news, it sounds like, is Lanzini is set to miss the massive 6-pointer against Southampton this weekend due to picking up a knock playing in the 2-0 win for Argentina over Italy, which he scored. It's a massive blow. This is a really important game and something where we really need Lanzini, especially these last run of games. I mean, hopefully it's just, if he does miss anything, it's just this game and he's fine for the rest of the season. But he's not that long come back from injury. And this is the problem. What it seems to me like Lanzini's goal scoring record massively goes under the radar for West Ham, and I don't think he's ever completed the season. He usually picks up more than one injury in the season, so it's tough when it's like another player that we can't rely on to stay fit. So for me, I think what we need to do in the summer is really start looking at another creative player. I'm not saying, just get rid of Lanzini, but we need another creative player to really push Lanzini, and if he gets injured, then step in and fill the role, or maybe overtake him as our first choice creative midfielder. That's what I think we should be looking at, because, like I said, we can't rely on him to stay fit. He has been linked with a move away to quite a few other clubs. Liverpool are heavily linked with Lanzini. They have been over the past few transfer windows, and it's also come up that this is probably just just a big rumour, but Messi wants Lanzini to come to Barcelona and replace Iniesta. But so I'd take 50 mil for if they went to Barcelona, and as long as we invest it. But yeah, it's disappointing with Lanzini. He's such a good player when he's fit, but it's not that often. He's not as bad as Carroll, but it's still not good enough. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your answers, or your thoughts, to the topics that I've discussed today. I love seeing your comments, like reading them, and I love interacting with you guys and replying. And if you don't agree with me, it's all the better, and we can have a debate and a little chat about it. So hopefully we get the 3 points on Saturday against Southampton. I'll be there. It's a massive game, and let's just hope the boys turn up. And if you guys do want to go and check out my other channel and throw a bit of support on there and subscribe, then you can click the logo thing here. Appreciate that a lot, guys. If I get to 500 by 30, it's a little thing, isn't it? 30. Oh god, all downhill from there, as they say. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let's hope we smash Southampton on Saturday. One thing left to say: come on, you Irons.